Wonderfully Whole. Welcome to our Wonderfully Whole interviews. Today I have a beautiful person with me, Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Judy. How you doing?
Pretty good. Okay. Thank you so much for agreeing for an interview with me. Today we're going to be talking about tomography. Well, tomography it seems like it's a well-kept secret. I met Rachel about almost 2 years ago when I had my first tommogram. I never heard of this until my good friend Brenda called me up so excitedly and she said, Judy, I found out about this. We gotta go, we gotta go. So I went and I had my first one in 2016, and there's where I met Rachel. Rachel was very professional. She explained everything to me, very compassionate, had great for want of a better word, great bedside uh, manner, very gracious and how the whole procedure, I felt very comfortable. And then I developed a relationship with Rachel, and she spoke at our wellness conference last year. And I taught, and I said, tomography, it's a procedure to detect breast cancer early. You could detect it way in advance. And I'm thinking, this should be out to the multitude, to the masses of women to save lives. And I wanted to get the word out to as many women as I can. And this is why I have Rachel with me for a 15 to 20-minute interview so she could, just speak and tell us more about it. And the first thing I wanted to ask you, Rachel, how long has been tomography here been around?
It's actually been around for decades, coming on 3 soon.
Wow.
And yeah, the best kept secret, like you
Wow.
said. Unfortunate secret.
Yes. Now, in your brochure, I saw DITI, which is digital infrared thermal imaging. Could you explain that a little bit?
Sure. So thermography is a test done with a camera that's FDA approved medical device that detects the emission of radiant heat that comes off your body. So digital infrared thermal imaging, it is that infrared thermal heat that comes off of you, and the camera catches it to the dermal layer.
Wow. So it's very detailed.
Very sensitive.
Yes.
Incredibly sensitive, yes.
Okay. So I would like you to go through the whole process. When I went to your office and I sat there and there were colors, we saw colors. Describe the colors for me.
Sure. When you look at a thermal scan, what you're going to see is the rainbow spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
The heat resides in the red colors and it works its way down in cooler colors to blue,
Yes.
which is going to be the cold. Everybody's got some red, everybody's got blue. We have all the colors mixed in with us because we are thermally all different.
Yes.
So the things that reside in the red are the things that cause inflammation in the body. That's going to be injury, illness, disease, vascular issues. The camera's detecting the heat that comes off your body through the dermal layer.
Yes.
So the colors are something, they're a gauge for me as a clinician, as a thermographer,
Yes.
but they're actually not what the doctor reads when he looked or she looks at your report. The doctor sees temperature readings.
Okay.
So the colors just look pretty for you and I in actuality, but when the doctor reads your
Yes.
report, they're actually reading 19,000 different temperature readings
Wow.
on each scan that we take, along with the patterns that they see and the health history that we see, and they correlate all that information, and that's how they tell you what they need to tell you.
And like that you mentioned, a doctor reads this, an MD
Yes.
reads the results. And when I went had my first tommogram, and then I had a follow up with a second one. Explain that
Sure.
to me.
So just to reiterate, a medical doctor does read your report.
Yes.
You need to be a certified MD to read thermography. You also need to be certified in thermography to read. You become a thermologist as a
Yes.
doctor. So in thermography, when you're scanning your breasts, and we can scan the whole body, and we do scan the whole body, you need to establish what's known as a thermal baseline. So you're going to come in for your initial appointment, and you'll have your test done. 3 months later, you need to do a follow-up. Hopefully no changes are seen, and that establishes what's known as a thermal baseline for you. It's your thermal signature, and we never want it to change. And the reason for the 3 months
Yes.
is because our body creates new blood cells every 3 months. It rejuvenates its blood cells. So we want to make sure that what we saw the first time is what we see the second time. In addition, cancer grows every 3 months.
Yes.
So that's the reason for the 3-month test.
This
Follow-up.
This is good. All Rachel, all my adult life, I took a mammogram. Okay. And I hate going to take the mammogram because it's like it's all I find it's invasive because it's pressing your breast, it hurts and things like that. And I remember reading that even younger women, mammogram don't pick up certain things, but a tommogram will pick it up.
Well, actually, the thermogram and the mammogram are completely different tests.
Good.
And so it's very important to recognize a mammogram and an ultrasound are tests of structure.
Yes.
So when there is something in your body, a mass, those tests are going to see it. However, not with 100% accuracy.
Yes.
Unfortunately, there's no test that's 100% accurate, which is the unfortunate thing.
Yes.
A thermogram, on the other hand, is a test of physiology. So as your physiology changes, which can be due to what we said earlier, which is the infection creating disease, illness, injury, your thermal scan is going to change. So the beauty of the thermogram is that it really gives a female early detection and a preventative test versus a test of actually finding when something's there. So what happens as we're developing cancer, or even as we're changing hormonally, is that it happens over a period of time. And for a mass to be big enough to be seen on a mammogram or an ultrasound, that can take up to 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
Whereas you can start seeing a thermal shift within your second or third year, giving you a lot of years to change your lifestyle, change your diet, add supplementation, exercise, and so on.
I love this because it's all preventative care. We don't want, there's a proverb that says an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. And we see people are coming down with this terrible disease, and some of the cures are killing them. So if we could spot something, as you just said, spot something in your physiology changes, you could correct it. You could, because I went to my gynecologist last month, and she looked at me and she said, Judy, a lot of people in this country, they just want to take a tablet to get. She said they refuse good nutrition, exercise, and things like that. So with this, doing a tommogram, and you could spot something and you realize that you need to make changes, it makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, and something also to keep in mind, we haven't gotten to yet, but while we're talking about the difference in testing, is that 40% of women have dense or fibrocystic breasts.
Yes.
And what that means is that there's an estrogen dominance already happening. Now, the statistics are 1 in 8 women get breast cancer. And of those cases, 70% roughly are hormone related.
Wow.
Now, when a woman has dense breasts, mammograms become around 50% accurate, which is not so high.
Yes.
And that's why they need to have the ultrasound.
Yes.
So the thermogram becomes an incredibly valuable test, especially for women with dense breasts, because the thermogram sees changes in density. So as you start shifting hormonally, you'll see that physiology happen in your scans. And then again, you have all of this time to make changes because hormones are malleable.
Yes.
And that's a gift, that the thermogram offers, especially women with density, yet every woman should have a thermogram for sure.
Yes, because that's why I do the ultrasound, because my gynecologist told me I have dense breasts.
Absolutely.
And I started making changes, in getting rid of dairy products and anything that would just cause estrogen to rise in my body. So I'm so happy that you explained that, because a lot of women have dense breasts and they don't know.
Absolutely, 40%.
Yes,
it's a lot.
Yes,
Roughly.
At what age should a woman start do a
thermograms?
Thermogram. Yes.
We get told around 30. But I believe, again, cancer doesn't necessarily discriminate in age, as we know. Typically, it grows faster in younger women under 50. So, I have 2 daughters. I'll have them have thermograms in their 20s, mid-20s.
Yes.
Maybe they won't come every year, which would be the doctor's recommendation once you establish that baseline, would be a yearly test. So, yes, I do believe mid-20s would be a great up until forever.
Yes.
Because again, breast cancer doesn't discriminate.
Because a friend just told me she had a friend's daughter in their 20s was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she died.
Yeah.
So a younger woman should start do this.
Do the thermogram, absolutely.
Yes.
And interestingly, mammograms aren't recommended for women until their 40s at this point.
Yes.
And so knowing that breast cancer can start early on, at least now there's a test for younger women that they can also use to try and, avoid later diagnosis. It's also important to recognize that estrogen dominance is affecting all of us because of the toxins that we're bringing into our life on a daily basis from the air and the water and everything. And so might there be a rise in breast cancer in those early years? Possibly. And the mammogram age keeps getting older. And so again, there's nothing to service this younger population unless you get the mammogram, which isn't recommended now at this point until 40.
Great. Now, just listening, so could a thermogram pick up something like maybe 10 years in advance? Like you start doing thermograms, and could it pick up something, the changes?
Absolutely. So it's important to recognize also that thermogram is not a diagnostic test, nor is a mammogram. It's a test that will guide you towards the next thing that you may or may not have to do.
Yes.
And so the things for the breast that may be offered to you in your report will be something on hormone shift or lymph congestion. And the doctors will note that. If they are concerned, they will recommend further testing.
Yes.
If there are any lumps, they are going to recommend further testing. And so it's important to realize that we don't promote thermography as a replacement of a mammogram or an ultrasound. We need to say that it's an adjunct to. And also important to recognize those women with dense breasts, which again we said is roughly 40%. They need to have that ultrasound because the mammogram becomes incredibly less accurate for them. And that is actually legally, legislation has been passed for women to ensure that they get that ultrasound. And not a lot of women realize that either.
Yes.
So,
And that's what that's what I did. I didn't do a mammogram. I did the tommogram, and then I had my ultrasound
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. And it was very surprisingly when I went for my ultrasound, the technician, I said, I'm not doing a mammogram. Because I had a tommogram. So she said, did you bring the report? I said no, because I was surprised that they would
even ask.
even ask for that. She said the next time you're coming, walk with it, and get to the I go to the Northeast radiology place, bring it, and because I walked with it and I gave it to my gynecologist for her to see.
Fantastic.
So thank God. So I like what you said, for women with dense breasts, ultrasound
Absolutely.
is
Absolutely. Because it's
important.
a test of structure. Again, if you have your test of structure and your test of physiology and you're having your breasts examined
Yes.
and you're doing everything you can in your
Yes.
lifestyle, it really is our best means of protecting ourselves or finding out something before it's an overt something, which of course is what we
Yes,
want.
prevention is better.
Prevention.
We want to catch things early.
Absolutely.
So now that you're also a nutritionist.
I am.
Okay?
Not practicing anymore, but yes.
Yeah. But so I remember after I had my first tommogram, and you made suggestions about making sure that you drink a lot of water, lemon in my water, do rebounding. So I like what you told me. Some of the things I was doing, but you reinforced them after my appointment with you, after I did the tommogram, and I thought that was so good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, because
you
yeah.
need to know what to do with your report. I think
Yes.
all too often I go to people and I get a report, and unless someone says you may want to try, that report just gets put in a file and you forget about it.
Yes.
And so if people are going to come to me and take their time and spend their money to have a thermogram, I try very hard to give you whatever I can to help you utilize this report.
It's beautiful, beautiful.
So.
Now, you do tomography in Connecticut, but you also do it in New York.
I do.
What about New York City?
I'm not in New York City yet. I'm in, I think at this point I have 19 offices throughout
Yes.
Connecticut and Long Island and.
Well, that's good, because Long Island is good, because my daughter lives in Queens, and I was telling her about you. And Long Island, where she lives, she's not that far away from Long Island, because we did a bar class together in Long Island.
Right.
So, which part in Long Island?
I'm in 3 offices actually, and I'm in, excuse me, I'm not from Long Island. I'm in Belmore, Holtsville, and Northport.
Okay. And do you mind giving
the locations?
No.
I'm like,
But if you want to get in touch with Rachel, would you mind giving them
Sure.
your website?
Absolutely. So my website is wholehealththermography.com, which will have a lot of information, will answer a lot of your questions that you may have. We'll also have more contact information to get in touch with me.
This is good. So I want to thank Rachel so much for coming and, explaining what tomography is, for early detection of changes in our breasts, because we want to be well. We want to be here for a long time. And also, tomography, you mentioned it in the beginning, that it picks up information. So besides the breasts, you could pick up you could get like a full body.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, it goes by region of interest actually.
Okay.
And you can scan the head and neck. You would do that for thyroid health, carotid artery, dental, periodontal issues, TMJ, lots of different reasons. You can scan your back and get information on lung health, autoimmune or autonomic issues. Your abdomen is all of your organs and their functioning, myofascial information, and your legs for vascular things, and much more than that. So there really is a huge application for the testing, and again, with no safety issue, no risk involved, non-invasive, no radiation.
Yeah, because nobody touched me.
Nobody's touching
I
you.
didn't have any machine pressing.
Yeah, which maybe is a point that we should bring up, how the procedure actually
Yes, you
happens
should,
when
you
we're in the
should.
office. So when you come to the office, you're going to take, assuming that you're doing just a breast scan, you're going to disrobe from the waist up, and you're going to have a paper gown that you can put on to cover yourself up while we talk. We'll then go through your health history for a significant amount of time
Yes.
to ensure that the reading doctor has as much information as they can to help them best read your report.
Mm-hmm.
Once we go through that, the scanning will take place, where you'll have to take off the paper gown. My camera and my computer are sitting on a tripod about 3 feet from
Yes.
my clients, who are sitting in a stool. So I will then proceed to take all the pictures that we need to take, and that takes about 2 minutes, and that's
Yes.
it.
Simple as 1, 2, 3. To save your life, and to prevent, see things ahead of time.
Absolutely.
This is wonderful. So I hope to each person who is looking at this interview that you get a tomogram. It's easy, as Rachel described, and you want to be well, and you want to pick up things so that you could make changes in diet, changes in exercising, and different things. So please go to Rachel's website. It has a lot of, she discusses different things, how to take care of your breasts. So please go to her website and get a tomogram.
Thank you, Judy.
Yes, and thank you so much, Rachel, for coming.
Thank you. It was really an honor.
Yes. So this is Judy from Wonderfully Whole. Have a great day.